Case study: Work-Life Balance. The story of Anna Sebastian at EY. Introduction. Anna Sebastian was a high-performing employee at Ernst & Young EY India, a global professional services firm renowned for its rigorous performance culture and demanding client commitments. At just 27 years old, Anna had already built a solid reputation as a committed, articulate, and capable consultant. She was admired by her colleagues for her precision, drive, and integrity. But on a quiet morning in May 2024, her sudden death made national headlines. Initial reports described it as a medical episode, but later discussions across social and professional networks indicated a deeper story, one marked by long working hours, stress-induced fatigue, and the unrelenting pursuit of excellence. Background: Anna, a chartered accountant, joined EY as an intern and was quickly offered a full-time role. She belonged to the Risk Advisory Division, a high-pressure unit that dealt with tight deadlines, regulatory compliance, and continuous client interactions. The expectations from consultants like her were explicit: deliver results, maintain responsiveness, and adapt quickly to fast-evolving client requirements. Though relatively young in the organization, Anna had earned the trust of her team leaders. She was often chosen for difficult assignments, and her calendar was filled with back-to-back meetings, documentation reviews, and client presentations. Her performance appraisals reflected a consistent upward trajectory. But over time, her colleagues began noticing subtle changes. Her emails would arrive at odd hours, she often skipped lunch, and she began showing signs of mental and physical exhaustion. Workload and expectations. The culture within Anna's team at EY was one of silent endurance. Long work hours were normalized. An always-on mindset was not just preferred, it was rewarded. There were informal indicators of performance that went beyond KPIs: who was still online at midnight, who responded fastest, who took the fewest leaves. Anna, driven by both internal ambition and external recognition, rarely said no to work. She was assigned to multiple projects simultaneously, often juggling overlapping deadlines. Even as she handled complex tasks like forensic audits or regulatory gap assessments, she rarely received relief from existing workloads. As tax season approached in early 2024, Anna was involved in a high-profile case for a major client. The stakes were high, and so was the pressure. Her days extended into nights, and weekends were often spent catching up on tasks that couldn't be completed during the week. Despite fatigue, Anna continued working, afraid of appearing less committed than her peers. Support systems and leadership response. While EY had formal mechanisms for employee support, employee assistance programs, helplines, and wellness portals, these remained underutilized, often viewed as symbolic rather than systemic. In the Risk Advisory Unit, open conversations about stress were rare. Team leaders, themselves under pressure, expected results and maintained a transactional approach to management. Anna's immediate manager, though appreciative of her efforts, had little visibility into her emotional well-being. Feedback focused on performance quality and client satisfaction, not sustainability. When Anna did hint at exhaustion, she was told, "Take a break after this quarter." But the break never came. New assignments kept filling the gap. Her peers, too, were struggling. They shared late-night chats about stress and sleep deprivation, but no one felt empowered to escalate their concerns. The culture prized resilience, often confusing it with quiet suffering. Technology and the blurring boundaries. One of the less discussed aspects of Anna's work life was the role of digital connectivity. With company laptops, secured phones, and real-time collaboration tools, there was rarely a true break. Work had followed her into her bedroom, weekend getaways, and even family dinners. Notifications buzzed endlessly. Client calls spanned across time zones. The line between personal time and billable hours had all but disappeared. Despite being aware of burnout narratives in the industry, Anna believed she could push through. Like many young professionals, she feared the impact of speaking up on her future career trajectory. She chose silence. The final days. In the week preceding her death, Anna had been working on 3 critical deliverables, including a deadline that required back-to-back 16-hour workdays. One of her friends later recalled that Anna had complained of chest discomfort and headaches, but attributed them to the usual stress. On the day she passed away, she had worked until 2 a.m. and was scheduled for a 9 a.m. internal meeting. She collapsed in her apartment early that morning. While official reports cited cardiac arrest, the posthumous conversations pointed toward chronic stress as a likely contributor. Organizational response and aftermath. EY India issued a formal condolence note and initiated an internal review. Counseling support was extended to her teammates. Social media erupted in outrage, triggering broader conversations about mental health, overwork, and the need for policy-level changes in corporate India. The incident compelled EY to relook at its people policies, initiating a right to disconnect pilot in certain units, encouraging mental health audits, and mandating weekly check-ins between managers and junior staff focused not on performance but well-being. However, critics argued that cosmetic changes would not be enough. Until cultural norms around overwork were addressed, the cycle would continue. Reflection and learning points. Anna Sebastian's story is not an isolated incident. It echoes the lived experiences of many high-performing professionals in high-pressure environments. Her case brings into focus the delicate balance between ambition and well-being. While organizations like EY offer growth, exposure, and prestige, they also need to ensure that systemic stresses are acknowledged and addressed. Leadership must be trained to notice early warning signs, workloads should be distributed equitably, and support systems must go beyond HR portals. They must be embedded into daily practice. Anna's death became a tragic catalyst for dialogue in corporate circles. But real change, as many noted, would depend on whether organizations could move from reactive sympathy to proactive prevention, teaching note optional for instructor use. This case subtly integrates the components of the job demands resources model. Job demands, high workload, long hours, emotional exhaustion, client pressure, technology-induced connectivity. Job resources, lacking support from supervisors, recovery opportunities, emotional support, autonomy in workload decisions.